All right. Hey, everyone. I'm Julia Bradford. I am a security technical specialist on our Microsoft Federal team. I cover the Department of Defense, many different customers. So I'm excited to be here today to talk about CoPilot, what's coming, and the general availability now of some of these solutions that I'll be talking about today. All right, so just to kind of set the stage, I do have a few different just data points to start off with that are very kind of jarring in the security world. The number of password attacks that we see today has tripled just in the past 12 months from 1,287 per second to more than 4,000 per second. And that medium time for an attacker to access your private data, if you fall victim to a phishing email, is now just 1 hour and 12 minutes. So that in itself is very alarming. Not only that, but defenders are also very outmatched, and attackers have become more sophisticated or increasingly harder to detect. Attackers have more resources and they don't play by the same rules that we do. So, with that, we also have a global shortage of 3.5 million skilled cybersecurity professionals. So, it's no wonder that security incidents become an everyday occurrence in organizations. More people fall victim to them daily, and we're seeing an increase in organizations really upticking their security measures. And on the technology side, we have so many different security tools out there. They're more difficult to manage, often resulting in really complex architectures for our customers. And there's also different views, of course, across different organizations. Not to mention that on the human side, processes are disconnected and skilled workers and talent is very difficult to find right now. Recruit, train, and also retain. So, even if you do have some sophisticated senior level analyst, sometimes it can be just very difficult for them to retain. And so you end up with, junior level analyst joining your team. So this really just kind of brings us to like, how do we scale analysts more effectively and utilize them more strategically? So brings us to this next slide of a paradigm shift that is really needed in how AI allows for this. Human ingenuity and expertise will always be an irreplaceable component of defense. So we just really need to bring in technology that can augment these unique capabilities with skill sets, processing speeds, and rapid learning. Technology that can also work alongside us, but not replace us to detect hidden patterns and behaviors, inform response at machine speed with the latest and most advanced security practices. And AI really allows continually improve on our security postures with real-time visibilities, giving us deeper context into these investigations. So that way we can respond to them faster and more efficiently, using natural language rather than, complex KQL queries or, other tedious workflows. So what makes generative AI important for security? It's really comes down to the different models and how flexible, reusable they can be and how they can be applied to just about any domain in any industry for multiple different tasks. We need models that, as I already mentioned, junior analysts can utilize and take advantage of to better assist in quick incident response and remediation so they don't have that same learning curve of not knowing KQL or other languages really deeply. Foundational models are at the heart of this. They are really what has been leading the latest breakthroughs. These models have been influential in the development of artificial intelligence systems, and they take data from many different sources, as you see up here, including text, images, even 3D signals, and they're all transformed and used in assisting with various tasks such as object recognition and analysis. So let's just take a look at how it works and how you can utilize generative AI. So if on the human side, you'll see a user can submit a prompt into CoPilot or any open AI engine really, and use that GPT model to determine the context. And so it starts to build a plan on how to answer the prompt, and then it executes that plan and combines all of that data into an appropriate response. That formatted response is then sent to the end user. And the more detailed and concise you are with your questions, the better the better responses you will get from any Copilot or GPT engine. So just making sure that you're asking the right questions and also, tailoring that to what exactly you're looking for. Those responses will be better. Now, looking at our Defender and just security suite of products and how Microsoft Security Copilot fits into that. So, with our profile, we span across security, identity, compliance, and cover more threat vectors and deliver value with a coordinated experience across solutions and across the security platform. So in the middle, you'll see the Security Copilot. It's helping with be more effective and efficient at all the roles that we play and across teams. So it helps you enhance and grow your capabilities and skills while also supporting the workflows and teams you collaborate with to solve security challenges. So if you have a team that it's just your SOC team, but you also, have an endpoint management team, they can all use the Security Copilot engine. They also work across multi-cloud. So the more telemetry you're bringing in from various and products, the better, you'll see your entire organization. And it also works across platforms. So you'll see various device OSs to bring in telemetry for device compliance. So some things that we're already doing, you're probably already using some of the AI to transform your SOC and how it responds to threats. So built in to Sentinel and some of our Defender suite of products, we have automatic attack disruption, which detects and disrupts active ransomware and business email compromise. I'll talk a little bit more about this on the next slide. And then we also have incident-driven posture recommendations. It analyzes your attack chain and gives you guidance on how you can remediate and stop those before those incidents even happen. We also push alerts in near real time. So like every 60 seconds, we're getting new alerts in. And so that data is constantly being ingested. And so, you can respond quicker with these particular, security Copilot tools. Just some other, kind of data points too, like we're just getting more than like 65 trillion signals each day through some of our threat intelligence products. So, I mean, if you can imagine, like that's just an insane amount of data that we are collecting. And some of these tools allow us to block them before they even, those attacks even happen. So we do somewhere around like 100 million brute force attacks. And those are all blocked. And then 100,000 unfamiliar sign-in attacks daily are blocked. So that just gives you some context as to, what we're catching before they even happen. So some of the AI-enabled features within our security tools that we've also had some of these for years, one of which is Fusion, which is a correlation engine that's built into Sentinel. It helps detect multi-stage attacks by identifying, anonymous behavior and activities and grouping them into a single incident. So you're able to see, multi-stage attacks that are happening on multiple devices or multiple users throughout your organization. UEBA is another tool that was built into Sentinel, and it looks at behavioral profiles. So it's just based off your particular tenant. This is not based off of anything outside of yours. So it learns from your tenant and alerts you on things that it finds that would be known as unusual based off of your typical users or IP address or application behavior. And then there's also anomaly detection that's built into Microsoft Defender for Cloud. It's very similar. So it analyzes what is normal behavior inside your organization as well and alerts you on anything that it finds that would be seen as abnormal. We also have the automatic attack disruption. So it helps, as I mentioned on the previous slide, the man in the middle attacks, business email compromise, and ransomware attacks in their tracks and gives analysts time to react before there's any sort of widespread disruption. So it'll basically put a hold on, a user account or a device until your analysts have had time to review that particular attack that's in progress. Now let's get into Security CoPilot. So it is the first generative AI security product to defend organizations at machine speed and scale. It combines the Chat GPT-4 model with OpenAI and Microsoft developed security specific models powered by Microsoft Security's unique expertise. And it will help your SOC analysts be more effective and efficient at all their roles that they play across security. And it also just, helps with supporting different workloads in teams and collaboration to help solve those difficult security challenges that all of our customers are seeing today. So it's really there as, that's called CoPilot. So not to take over your particular role, but really just there to better assist you at making sure that you can respond quicker to different incidences. The goal is really just to support use cases across security, identity management, and compliance. And we're really just focusing today on some of the SOC use cases. The three primary use cases are the security posture management, incident response, security reporting. So with security posture management, that's really to be proactive in your approach to your posture. So making sure that you are given prescriptive guidance on how to protect against potential vulnerabilities. So it gives you a list of all the potential vulnerabilities throughout your cloud infrastructure and how you can better protect yourself against potential attacks. And then in terms of incident response, that's where we'll show a demo that you can quickly surface an incident, enrich it with particular context, data sources, and get information on what's happening. And again, you can also prompt it to provide you with additional details and recommendations, generate KQL queries or scripts to remediate devices or take additional actions on incidents within your environment. And then finally, there's also security reporting that's built in to CoPilot. So it might not seem like the biggest thing, but honestly, it's something that a lot of our customers that we've heard really see a lot of value in because of how incidents move so quickly. It's great to have a report that you can share with, additional analysts outside of maybe your team, as well as managers, other stakeholders throughout the organization. So it's become a very tactical way to show the value of CoPilot. And it, of course, uses natural language too to summarize all of these incidents into even things like PowerPoint slides. So working with CoPilot, it is built in to the security suite with all of our Defender products. So Defender for Endpoint, this is where we would see incidents related to Anything on our endpoints, you're able to run queries using natural language, repair reports, summaries, graphs, and you can also upskill teams via prompts and guidance. And so if you want to create a team and a team's message or team's group channel, you can do that straight from the CoPilot engine and straight from Sentinel as well. You can just create from the incident a Teams channel, and you'll get all of that information sent over to that team that's going to be triaging the incident. You get enrichments on any of these alerts, and with Microsoft Sentinel, that also brings in enrichments on incidents. And with Intune, it also brings in the security posture of devices, so making sure that there aren't vulnerabilities that are known on any of your endpoints as well. Next, we're going to take a look at just what CoPilot looks like. So to begin this investigation, I've asked CoPilot to summarize an incident 29088 contained within the workspace. This data is being pulled from Sentinel. Very quickly, we see that a user downloaded a file from a malicious IP address. And we have some information about that machine they used, who did it, and the infrastructure involved. This detail is important. And so you can actually pin this to your pin board, and you can get additional summarizations of this particular incident. So the next thing that we're going to do is analyze the malicious infrastructure. So in order to do that, I simply ask CoPilot to explain why the IP address is malicious. And this information was pulled from the Defender Threat Intelligence. So it's analyzing right now. And you'll be able to see that it creates 3 different reasons why this infrastructure is malicious. And notably, you'll see Cobalt Strike listed as one of the intelligence profiles, as well as Silk Typhoon. And there's direct links to go and investigate what those intelligence profiles are, who those known threat actors are, and to get additional information on them. Moving forward, knowing that this is a high severity incident, I would immediately move to understand what devices are associated with this user, if they are compliant, and if they aren't, what steps you may need to take to make them compliant. So this information is also pulled from Intune. So CoPilot shows that there are 2 additional devices, noting that one of them is not compliant. So that would be something that I would see as concerning and giving risk that the user could also be compromised from that non-compliant device. It also may lack things like encryption or other safeguards. So below this, you'll see the table that has a set of recommendations, remediation actions. So all of these look good. But if you thought that anything in this response might be misleading, you can also use controls to send feedback directly to the product group. Now, lastly, we're going to look hunting across Defender to see if the user and the incident is associated with any additional alerts. So the goal here is really just to understand what else might be related based on the user identity, knowing that it could potentially be compromised. CoPilot leverages the previous information identified in the prompt responses. So it is using all of our previous responses to gain additional intelligence based off of those previous responses and construct KQL queries. And this is also hunting across the M365 Defender. So in response, we see that there's a KQL query made, and the result of the execution on that. There are 15 different results that we're looking at right now associated with this query. And that prompt is really just a really good demonstration of the power to take natural language questions and translate them directly into, a KQL query and how that can extend to any of your analysts. Last thing I wanted to end with today was just reiterating what one of my peers have previously shown, that your data is your data. We are not taking your data and using it in any sort of tenant. So it is stored and encrypted at rest, and it's not used outside of your tenant. It's not used in third parties, et cetera. And it's not used even to train any of these foundational AI models. So, open to any questions anyone might have, but that's about all I have for my portion. So thank you, everyone.